The chasm between King Charles III and Prince Harry has widened into what many royal watchers now describe as a full-blown collapse in their relationship. The latest fracture, reportedly triggered by a heated phone conversation, centers around an audacious $50 million request made by Prince Harry to his father. The funds were allegedly needed to manage serious financial issues surrounding one of Harry's charitable organizations. However, palace sources claim the demand wasn't simply about saving a struggling foundation. It may have been something much more complex and damaging. According to insiders close to the palace, King Charles was blindsided by the call and interpreted the request as a manipulative move, allegedly influenced by Meghan Markle. The king's reaction was swift and severe. He accused Harry of deceit, of exploiting his royal title to dodge scrutiny, and ultimately refused to provide any financial support. This marked a pivotal moment in their deteriorating relationship, effectively cutting Harry and Meghan off from royal funds and further marginalizing them from the institution they once represented. This explosive episode is not a standalone event, but the culmination of years of tension and mistrust that began when Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties in early 2020. Their decision to relocate to Montecito, California and carve out a life independent of the crown came with significant financial ambition. The couple signed multi-million-dollar deals with Netflix, Spotify, and publishing houses, all of which leaned heavily on their royal connections and personal narratives involving the royal family. These projects, while financially lucrative, also sparked controversy and criticism for allegedly misrepresenting the monarchy and airing internal grievances in public for profit. Royal aides and longtime palace staff now suggest that this recent $50 million request was more than just tone-deaf. It was, in their view, a desperate attempt to suppress inquiries into financial mismanagement within the Sussexes' operations. Critics argue that this pattern has become increasingly evident, using emotional appeals or royal ties to deflect legitimate concerns. The fact that such a massive request came without clear justification further eroded the king's patience and trust. King Charles, known for his disciplined approach to royal finances and strong stance on transparency, viewed the request as both inappropriate and unethical. It wasn't just the sum that raised red flags. It was the manner in which the request was made. Sources suggest that Harry presented the financial trouble as urgent and unavoidable, leaving little room for discussion. Yet the king saw this urgency as calculated pressure and stood his ground, denying the funds and ceasing all further financial contributions to Harry and Meghan. Behind closed doors, the king is said to be deeply hurt. His frustration isn't limited to Harry. It extends to Meghan as well, whom he reportedly views as a key influence in decisions that continue to strain familial bonds. There's a growing belief among palace insiders that Meghan has strategically guided Harry into choices that benefit their brand but harm his legacy and relationships. From the infamous Oprah interview to Harry's memoir Spare, to their many public appearances that cast the royal family in a negative light, each chapter seems more calculated than the last. As the drama unfolds, Harry and Meghan's public image has taken a hit. While they once enjoyed immense sympathy and support, there's now growing skepticism regarding their motives. Former allies in the media and celebrity circles are beginning to distance themselves, and questions about the sustainability of their brand are growing louder. Are they genuinely seeking independence and purpose, or are they leveraging royal scandal for continued relevance and financial gain? The fallout from King Charles's decision to cut off financial support could be severe for the Sussexes, with their ventures under increased scrutiny and their public goodwill waning. Maintaining the lavish lifestyle they've become accustomed to may become more challenging. Some analysts argue that their financial empire is far more fragile than it appears. Without the backing of the crown and with their reputations under pressure, the couple faces a critical crossroads. Meanwhile, the British public is watching with a mixture of fascination and fatigue. There's sympathy for the personal pain of a father-son conflict, but also frustration at how private issues have been continually played out in the public eye. The monarchy, despite its centuries of history, remains a family. And like many families, it's susceptible to betrayal, resentment, and loss. However, unlike most families, every disagreement becomes global news, and every misstep becomes a headline. For King Charles, The decision to tone down Harry's request was undoubtedly painful but seen as necessary to uphold the principles he believes the monarchy must stand for. Royal insiders say the king has long hoped for reconciliation with his son, but not at the cost of integrity. By drawing a firm line, Charles has made it clear that manipulation, however subtle or desperate, will not sway his resolve. The consequences are not just emotional or symbolic. The Sussexes are now operating without the safety net they once had. They are financially and institutionally isolated, navigating a complex web of public relations, legal risks, and a deeply divided fan base. And as they continue to craft their own narrative in the media, the royal household is preparing for more turbulence. Advisors to the king are reportedly reviewing all past financial dealings tied to the Sussexes, seeking to protect the crown from any lingering liabilities. What makes this story so gripping is not just the personal drama. It's the larger questions it raises about loyalty, power, and legacy. In a world where public image is currency and personal stories are monetized, where does one draw the line between self-expression and betrayal? Is it possible to modernize a centuries-old institution without undermining it? And what happens when the desire for financial independence begins to erode the very relationships that once provided security and identity? These are the questions now swirling around Prince Harry and King Charles. Their once close bond has been replaced by distance, resentment, and mistrust. The chances of reconciliation seem slim, at least for now. The palace has gone quiet on the matter, issuing no official comment, while Harry and Meghan continue their public appearances and brand promotions. But behind the silence, emotions run deep. The world remains captivated by this unfolding saga. What started as a royal exit has now become a cautionary tale of ambition, estrangement, and the high cost of breaking away. With every new development, more layers are revealed and more questions emerge. The story is far from over, and for both